Hi everybody and welcome to yet another video, this being the video for week 9. Doesn't week 9 sound scary? The semester has just absolutely flown past, and of course it's one of those weird semesters where we don't get a mid-semester break until after week 10. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like I could really use a mid-semester break about now. But sorry, they do that if you don't know why, just to line up with school holidays and things like that. So look, what I thought I'd do in the video today is close the loop on the survey that we ran earlier this semester and just check back in with you about what the results of that survey were and how that's impacted some of my thinking. Before we do that though, I'd just like to give you again another reminder that the Zoom links for the drop-in and for all of the tutorials have changed. This is just because Zoom have upgraded their security, and from about the end of this month, every Zoom meeting will require a password attached to it. So we've made that change a little bit earlier than what's strictly needed by Zoom. Basically, you can find, of course, those links in the same place that they've been all semester, which is if you go to Blackboard and look for Zoom tutorials and drop-in sessions in the left-hand navigation bar, then you'll find the links for your tutorials there. You don't actually need to input a separate password code, because if you click on those links, you'll see the passwords already embedded in it. So that'll get you to where you want to go nice and easily. Okay, on to some of the feedback from the surveys. And as you'll remember, it was just a quick 3-question survey about how you were finding the unit. And so the first question was about how you feel about the podcast format as opposed to the format that you might be interested in, used to in your other units. And this was really interesting. Again, thank you so much to everybody who took the time to fill out the survey. It's still live and it's still running, so if you would like to add anything to it, by all means, feel free to jump on. You can find the link under announcements from earlier in the semester, but feel free to jump on and add your feedback because it's really useful for me in developing this unit as we've been going. But yeah, so the first question was about podcasts and how you were finding those. And that was really interesting information, thank you. So podcasts were the favorite. So you got to choose from several different options, one of which was the podcast format, which we're using. Another one was slides with the lecturer speaking over the top of them. Another one was a video of the lecturer. And then there was the opportunity for other, where you could submit your own ideas. And look, of those, the podcast format was the most popular format that people chose. In fact, it was about twice as popular as the next most popular one, which was slides with a lecturer speaking over the top of them. So thank you. That's really interesting feedback for me to know about the format's generally working for most people. There were a couple of people, of course, who hate podcasts, and I totally hear and understand that a few of you don't like this format. Again, my encouragement would be, if you want to replicate that second most popular format, which is having the slides on the screen and listening to a lecturer talking to the slides, please just simply bring up the slides on your screen before you play the podcast, and you can click through them as I'm talking to them as well. So I think that's a good workaround for those of you who find the podcast format less engaging. I'm just well aware that a lot of us are suffering from screen fatigue at the moment, where we're sitting there for hours watching lots of presentations and lectures and events and so on the screen. So it was a hope to break from that. There were a couple of really great ideas in people who did answer other and gave suggestions that weren't on that list. By and large, some of those suggestions were about having a synchronous kind of lecture. So a lecture that's taking place at certain hours perhaps via Zoom, where students can join in and we can make them a little bit more interactive. Now, I love interactivity personally. One of the struggles actually that I have with delivering a unit in this way is I really miss the classroom, where you can have a lot of interaction with the students and where you can bounce off the students, and also where you can like feel the energy in the room and adjust your delivery accordingly, all that kind of stuff. One problem that you may not be aware of with having a lecture via Zoom and recording it and recording students is there's a permissions issue there. We do need to get permission from the students to be allowed to record them as well, which is why I was advised not to run anything in that kind of format. But certainly looking for different ways to make the content interactive is something I'm super interested in. And of course, that's part of the reason for these weekly video sessions as well, is so that I can take your questions and give you answers in this format too. So moving on to general feedback from the unit. Thank you so much, everybody. The general feedback on the unit was positive. And I just want to take a moment actually to let you know how very, very meaningful that is to me, because this is a semester where I'm not having in-class contact with you. I felt, you know, I'm feeling more distant from you as students than I would feel if we were doing this in a classroom. And so as such, it's really meaningful to hear that people are having good experiences. So I really took that to heart. Thank you very, very much. There were a couple of areas where people were less happy. And I think the biggest one of those areas is around the critique groups. So where people were assigned to a critique group in class, and for whatever reason, the group didn't work. And typically this is always because other members of the group let the group down in some kind of way. You were assigned to a group and then people didn't show up for it. Now, to be honest, this is always a problem for us in any unit that has peer critiquing. And I've tried various models with this unit where I've, you know, assigned groups and you've had to do all of the feedback on Blackboard so we can make sure and we can watch who's doing all of the feedback, like taking a really kind of Nazi sort of approach to it as well. And actually it doesn't fix that problem at all. Some people are just always going to be slack. So what we've tried differently this year, and I think it's a good idea, and it seems to be working for many people at least, is to have that Blackboard discussion forum. So again, I'd like to encourage you that if you're in a critique group that isn't working for whatever reason, please go and use the critique forum on Blackboard there. You can post your story up for critique. You need to post 3 critiques up in that forum as well if you are posting your story up for critique. And this is a way to bypass and essentially get extra feedback. If you're in a group and just want extra feedback on your work as well, then you're more than welcome to use your in-class group and the group discussion board too at the same time. But I think that's the most viable fix. If you're finding that your second critique group isn't working because people sign up and then they just stop showing up, use the Blackboard group and use it earlier rather than later, I think is a good piece of advice there too. Look, it was only a single comment, but I take every comment seriously. There was one comment about the criteria sheets for the unit being a little bit vague. Now, I can't change criteria sheets for this semester because they're part of our learning agreement, basically, and what's there at the start of semester has to remain there for the entirety of the semester. But thank you to the person who did raise that. I'll definitely have a look at the criteria sheets with an eye to revising them and making them a little bit more precise and easy to understand. Hopefully what you'll find is the feedback from your tutor will be comprehensive and will give you any answers to any questions that were outstanding. So yeah, we lean quite a lot on our tutors giving good feedback here as well as of course all of the feedback that you're getting from your peers in the critique groups. So yeah, I just wanted to take today as an opportunity to give you feedback about your feedback and let you know what that looked like and let you know what I'm taking away from it. Again, thank you so much to everybody who did take on average, it took about 2 minutes to fill out the survey. So thank you for everybody who did take their 2 minutes out of their life to fill out the survey. And again, if you haven't filled it out, please have a look at the Blackboard announcements and feel free to jump in and add your thoughts as well. I am a bit of a data nerd, so I was really combing over those every day and yeah, helping them to inform what I'm doing. Thank you very much. Please send me your questions. Again, this is kind of our interactive space for the unit. So please do send me questions that you have that perhaps arise from the lectures where you'd like some extra explanation about something that's gone on in the lecture, or just anything writing related. I'd be only too happy to answer questions about, and I'm always delighted to hear questions from you. Anyway, welcome to week 9. Thanks very much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy our lecture on editing this week. Thank you. Bye.